Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm very happy to talk to you about evidence-based decision making for tangible results. I'm sure at all different levels of work, we appreciate when we are given evidence for some of the decisions we have to make. And we always appreciate someone who brings all the supporting documents to indicate or to support the proposal or the recommendations they would like you to consider. And it's very, very encouraging to see that we don't just propose, but we have evidences that support some of the proposals that we give to our superiors. In emphasizing some of the best practices, I would like to share with you an experience I had a few months ago. I had a sick child that I took to the private hospital where they diagnosed her of having malaria. And even as they continued to give her medications, they kept on looking at how she's responding to the medications, how she's improving. And then there was a time after a few days where we're told the child has to be transferred to the hospital that is better equipped to support her because the malaria had caused other complications. It had affected some of our organs. So we were transferred to this referral hospital. And the first thing that I saw, which I would like to share with you, which also emphasizes on this topic that I'm talking to you today about evidence-based, is how the referral hospital had to do its own assessment or its own tests. The evidence were provided. The treatment that was done was also clear, but they had to do their own tests to verify the information also and confirm the approach they're going to use to support the child. So that was very significant to me, and I appreciated that it's not just getting what you're told, but you have to verify and confirm the information that you're given. And that is very significant when decisions and policies have to be evidence-based. Another observation that I saw and that was very impressive is the timeliness, how quick the assessment was done or the test was done and the results were given, and how that informed the decisions on what had to be done the following day and sometimes immediately. So the timeliness in providing evidence and sharing the feedback, that was very significant. But again, the engagement. When these results are found, the doctors come, the nurses, the key stakeholders, and you as a parent who is the caretaker, you'll be informed the results and the decisions that they're taking to help the child. You hear. If you have questions, you ask questions. And with that, there were no surprises. So I appreciated that very much because it was very significant in making sure that at least everybody knows what is happening and why. What is being done is done, or the decisions that are taken are taken. But again, what I appreciated the most was the fact that they were able to discover or to identify other complications that came as a result of having malaria. And they were able to treat both the malaria and other effects, the organs that were affected. And I brought this experience in the context of government where I also work to see, as a civil servant, how do I apply these principles? How often do I verify to make sure that even when I get well-researched data, I can confirm by assessing and making sure that these evidences that were provided are accurate. But again, how often all the key stakeholders, the beneficiary, the implementer, implementers, the decision makers come together to discuss and agree on the issue. And yes, of course, it's done, but then how quickly, how easy is it to bring all these concerned stakeholders together to make sure that all the concerned are moving while having consensus as the program or the project is being implemented. And this is done, of course, but then the timeliness, the swiftness in providing feedback, the swiftness in meeting and deciding and making sure that all the concerned are aware and are informed. That swiftness is the element that I'm looking at. These are all best practices that you see within many governments, even in my own workplace. But then I'm looking at the swiftness, how easy it is to bring every concern all the time, making sure that we move together. Now, that timeliness is what I'm looking at and see how can it be enhanced in the context of the government. And then as a technician myself, when I provide evidence of the issue, the initial issue, through continuous monitoring and assessment, how easy is it to identify other factors and make sure that all these other factors that are caused by the initial issue that was identified are considered, are addressed. Let me give you an example. If, for instance, we, as technicians, we realize that this specific village, perhaps, is having so many young people who are roaming about, and we think, oh well, if you can only establish a school, we'll keep these young people busy and they will be educated, and of course that will improve their well-being in long run. And of course it's a good initiative. We promote that. Policymakers agree, they invest, build the school. But then as a technician myself, if I looked at the other factors, for instance, if the absence of a school, having many young people have not been educated for many years, and maybe even their parents were not educated and they don't have that culture of valuing education. Me, as a technician, to propose a school without looking at other factors that have to be addressed for the school to add value. For instance, the culture of that place. How do we sensitize them to appreciate school? So how do I make sure as a technician, I'm challenging myself that the proposals and the recommendations I provide, they look at other factors and make sure that the issues are addressed comprehensively. Another example I can think of is if, again, in a village setting, we realize that they cultivate, they have a lot of produce, but they don't transact those produce with nearby villages. And we feel like, well, if we build a road, then the villages will interact, they will transact. And then, of course, we build them to realize, what if these villages they have not been interacting and mingling for many years to a point where they have some perceptions of each other, misconceptions, and just having a road won't necessarily make them to comfortably interact and trust each other and share and transact and be productive. So did we take time to understand how these villages perceive each other? What are some of misconceptions that have to be addressed so that having the road there will trigger that interaction that we want? So these are some of the questions I ask myself and see, level or at a technical level, am I able to see issues in a more comprehensive way, give recommendations that tackle even other complexities? Yes, understand the root cause, have evidence on how these root causes could be addressed, sorry. But again, make sure that I understand the dynamics and the complexities and they inform the decision that is provided. So I challenged myself, and I'm challenging you as well to see what can be done to make sure that we provide evidence timely, we engage all the concerned timely, we see root causes of issues and other factors that are caused by those issues, and make sure that our recommendations are comprehensive and they inform the decision makers much better. What can be done? So please share with me some of the recommendations on what you think can be done to enhance evidence-based within, of course, a government setting, and you as one of, maybe like me, technicians who provide some of these evidences. How do we make sure that they're swift, they are well informed, and they have engaged, they're concerned, there are no surprises? What can be done? So please share with me your comments and some of your recommendations. In my following video, I'll try to share with you what I think could be done, of course, improving what I do myself at my level. But I want to hear from you what you think could be done. Number one, to improve the timeliness, the accuracy, and the engagement of all key stakeholders in making sure that our decisions or recommendations to our policymakers are evidence-based. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon, and let me hear what you think. All the best and God bless.